Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Hansen, and I'm a third-year medical student at the Netter School of Medicine at Quinnipiac. I'd like to thank the Connecticut chapter of the American College of Surgeons for the opportunity to present this research on identifying hospital-level factors that impact surgery unit patient safety culture. I have no financial or commercial relationships to disclose. Research on patient safety has grown since the Institute of Medicine's 2000 report on medical errors. In response to the growing focus on patient safety, the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, Ahrq for short, developed the Hospital Survey on Patient Safety, or HSAPS, to study safety culture. Thousands of U.S. hospitals now complete the survey with the data and results tabulated by the Ahrq on the condition of anonymity. Given the growing body of evidence that safety culture scores correlate with clinical outcomes, including infection and readmission rates, some have argued that safety culture scores should be publicly reported. While this idea has been met with resistance, it made me wonder about whether there are trends based on grossly observable hospital characteristics, which leads me to the aims of this research. The primary purpose of this research is to understand whether hospital characteristics such as regional location, number of beds, and teaching status significantly influences the hospital survey on patient safety score for surgery units. Secondary aims are to identify whether institution-level characteristics affecting a surgery unit's patient safety culture that were predictors at the national level continued to predict safety culture when specifically looking at the New England and Mid-Atlantic region, and to identify whether institution-level characteristics affect a surgery unit's likelihood to see change in HSAPS scores over time. Before we continue, I'll provide a basic definition of patient safety culture. A culture of safety encompasses the following elements. First, are shared beliefs and values about the healthcare delivery system, specifically acknowledging the high-risk nature of an organization's activities and having the determination to achieve consistently safe operations and encouraging collaboration across ranks and disciplines. Second is an organizational commitment of resources to address safety and to detecting and analyzing patient injuries and near misses. And third is a blame-free environment that utilizes open communication regarding patient injury to balance the needs for reporting and taking disciplinary action. In order to assess patient safety culture, we used the Ahrq's Hospital Survey on Patient Safety, which is a well-validated 42-item questionnaire that is administered to all types of hospital employees typically every other year. The survey itself is comprised of 12 distinct subscales that can be used to generate a composite patient safety score, specifically focusing on the percent of respondents that answered favorably, known as the composite percent positive. With the composite percent positive as our dependent variable, we filtered the responses so that we only analyzed data from respondents working on surgical units, and used mixed model regression analyses with independent variables of teaching status, which was either teaching or non-teaching, the number of beds in the hospital, geographic region, and the year of response. The dataset includes responses from 2010 to 2016. Nationally, there were over 86,000 respondents from 1,221 hospitals that identified themselves as working on a surgery unit, and 90.1% of them self-described themselves as being in a patient-facing role. In the New England and Mid-Atlantic region, there were almost 15,000 surgery unit respondents from 176 hospitals, 83.3% of which self-described themselves as being in a patient-facing role. National mixed model regression analyses showed that hospitals' composite percent positive significantly differed on the basis of size, region, and teaching status. Significant change in composite percent positive was noted to occur over time. However, these changes are not attributable to an interaction with any of the tested hospital-level factors. Given that this is the Connecticut chapter of the American College of Surgeons, I wanted to specifically focus on if and how the hospital-level characteristics that predicted patient safety culture at the national level remained the same or differed when applied to the geographic region that we are in. So, when looking solely at responses from New England and Mid-Atlantic surgery units, teaching hospitals had significantly higher scores for patient safety than non-teaching hospitals. Additionally, analyses of responses from surgery units specific to the New England and Mid-Atlantic regions showed that the number of beds in a hospital lost significance as a predictor of HSAPS score. In conclusion, and looking at the next steps for this area of research, the composite percent positive patient safety score on surgery units nationally decreased as the number of beds in the hospital increased. And nationally, teaching hospitals had lower patient safety culture scores than non-teaching hospitals. Given the regional differences shown in patient safety culture within surgery units, further exploration of whether or how state-level legislative and/or regulatory directives contribute to such differences is needed. These findings using HSOP's data illustrate how perhaps hospital-level characteristics can macroscopically facilitate some clarity about safety culture and, as research has shown, by extension, patient safety outcomes. Importantly, the New England and Mid-Atlantic region's apparent immunity to the finding of poorer patient safety culture scores in teaching hospitals and immunity to the trend of the inverse relationship between patient safety scores and the number of beds poses a potentially valuable example for other regions to learn from. Lastly, to assess the clinical relevance of the small but statistically significant differences, future research should aim to expand beyond measures of patient safety culture and analyze concrete patient safety data from other national data sets that collect established patient safety metrics. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.